Good morning, children. Welcome to biology class. And our topic for today is evolution. So, children, in this chapter, we'll learn about the origin of life, theories of evolution, then different origin of new species, and evolution of man. So let's see what does evolution and evolutionary biology says. So according to philosopher Herbert Spencer, who has given the term evolution, he said that continuous and orderly changes in nature is said to be an evolution. So the word evolution, it is derived from the Latin word evolvere, which means out, and volvere, which means to roll or unfold. So evolution, it occurs at different levels and it involves both living and non-living components of the universe. It may be molecular level or chemical evolution, level of physical objects or physical evolution, then level of stars and planets in the universe, stellar evolution or cosmic evolution, and level of living objects or biological evolution. So let's see what evolutionary biology or biological evolution means. So biological evolution means, children, the process of gradual changes in organisms to form more and more complex forms over a period of time. So it says that gradual changes which occurs in organisms, so it started forming the complex form from its simple form over a period of time. So according to Darwin, he said that evolution has descent with modifications. Now, Theodore Dobzhansky, he said that evolutionary biology is the study of history of evolution of newer and more complex form of life on the earth from pre-existing simpler ones over a period of time. So the term biological evolution or evolutionary biology, it was introduced by Mayer in 1970. It is also called organic evolution or biological evolution. Now let's see origin of life, how the life originated on this earth. Children, you know that millions of years ago, since the changes are occurring in the nature and innumerable varieties of living beings have evolved. Human beings, they are the most and highly evolved organism. So there are different theories or different hypotheses about the origin of life on the universe. So how the origin of universe takes place. So according to Big Bang theory, which was proposed by Abbe, Lemaître and supported by Gamow and Dicke, they said that the particles and antiparticles, they collided and they formed hydrogen atoms which fused into progressively heavier atoms of different elements. Children, you know that about mid 20 billion years ago, our universe, it was only a single piece of highly condensed, red-hot, rotating, gaseous cloud of cosmic dust called primeval or cosmic matter of L. Now this L consisted of particles like neutrons, protons and electrons and antiparticles. So the cosmic matter, they exploded by Big Bang or radionuclear explosion into numerous small and large masses of gaseous hydrogen called nebulae. So what is a nebula? It is a cold and spinning cloud of cosmic dust, and due to its spinning, it is separated from numerous galaxies. So children, you know what is a galaxy? Yes, a galaxy, it is a family of numerous stars which are held together by mutual gravitational attractions. And the huge family of stars to which our sun belongs, it is called Milky Way galaxy. It is about 13 to 20,000 million years old and it has around 150 to 200 billion stars. Now, origin of solar system and the earth. So according to nebular hypothesis, which was proposed by Kant and Laplace, our solar system, it arose 4.5 to 5 billion years ago from a huge red-hot spinning cloud of cosmic dust, gas containing millions of atoms of different types. Now the central mass of nebula, it condensed and it forms a primitive sun. So it gradually became hotter and brighter due to the conversion of gravitational energy into heat. So thermonuclear reactions, they started due to high temperature, and the sun then started emitting solar radiation. So you know how this sun is formed according to nebular hypothesis. So it also says that because of the rotational movement of nebula, a peripheral ring of cloud, they get separated from central mass and condensed into planets like Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, and all. So initially we can say that our Earth was a fiery spinning ball of hot gases and vapor of various elements. Now after 100 million years, the gases, they gradually condensed into molten mass, and different elements got stratified according to their density. Heavy elements like iron and nickel, they sank to the center and formed the solid core of the Earth. Lighter elements like silicon and aluminium, they rose to the surface and solidified to form the Earth crust. And the part of the Earth between core and crust formed the mantle. So this is how, see our primitive Earths. So this is the primitive atmosphere and how the sun and the earth is formed. Now the lightest elements like helium, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen and carbon, they flowed out of the surface and they formed the gaseous atmosphere, which was much different from what is today. So let's move on to the earth. Now children, our earth, it lies at distance of 148.7 million kilometers from the sun, and its diameter, it is about 12,735 kilometers, and mass is 6 into 10 to the power 12 tons. It is divided into three parts: bryosphere, pyrosphere and lithosphere. So here see the condensation of hot gases and vapors of various elements to form primitive earth. Okay, see here, gases and the elements, they form the core, shell, okay, and metal and how this earth is formed. So what is a bryosphere? So it is the core of the earth, and it is formed mainly of nickel and iron. It was believed that to be molten, and it is divisible into an inner core region and a radius of about 1280 km and an outer core region having radius of about 2200 kilometers. Pyrosphere, it is the mantle part of the earth having a radius of about 2800 kilometers, and it is formed of silica, aluminium, magnesium and manganese, which are lighter than iron and nickel. Lithosphere, it is the crust or surface layer of the earth, and it is 20 to 25 kilometers in thickness, and it is formed of rock basalt under the sea and granite in the continents. Now the gaseous envelope, it forms the atmosphere, and it is about 1600 kilometers thick. The watery part of the earth's surface, it is called hydrosphere, and it covers 75 to 80% of the earth's surface. Now, origin of life or biopsies will study in our next class. Till then, thank you and have a nice day.